Hello there, this is DBT and these are the rooms. And alright, let's continue talking about Asphalt Legends Unite. And today, I'm gonna be talking about the special hunt for the car that you see on the screen right now, and that is of course the Chevrolet Corvette ZR1. Now, I can already have made a video talking about which events you should be prioritizing, and maybe you should do this one and not that one, and so on and so forth. But in talking about that, I did notice that a lot of people were talking about how the Corvette ZR1 is very difficult to unlock and it's a very grindy hunt and all of that. And while some of that is true, I also wanted to give you a bit of a different perspective as to how this hunt, it's actually kinda okay. But before I jump into it, if you enjoy my content, please hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel, because doing this helps the channel to continue to grow, and in that way I can continue making this alu content for you. So go ahead, like and subscribe. But alright, so the very first thing that I'm gonna do in this video, and by the way, I'm gonna section it off with timestamps so that you can jump to the topic at hand, but I'm gonna do a bit of an explanation of what the special hunt is first, and then if you already know what they are about, then maybe you wanna see my explanation as to why I think this one is not that bad. But again, it has a timestamp, so if you wanna jump into that, go ahead. But alright, so right now I'm, by the way, playing in my global account where I don't have the car maxed out just yet, or at least at 5 stars and whatnot. I only have it at 2 stars, so hey, I'm making slow progress over here, but there we go. So, okay, that was a bit of a weird pause. I felt like I needed to cough, and I didn't. Okay, whatever, it's fine. Okay, so the special hunt, what is it about? Well, a special hunt is where you're gonna be able to unlock the car, max it out, and even gold it so long as you grind the event for long enough. Now, this hunt, unlike other special hunts that we have done, or we have gotten, is not a key car, meaning you don't require a key to unlock the car. All you need is to get the car to 1 star, and then officially the car is yours. Now, regardless whether you have the car at 1 star or not, you have access to stage 1, in which you're gonna be able to get some blueprints, some tokens, and from there on you need to be grinding this quite a bit in order to get the blueprints in these packs, and eventually with that unlock the car. Once you unlock the car, unfortunately, you don't get to move to the next stage, because for this you need the car to 2 stars, that's why it shows over here. So even after you unlock the car, you still need to continue doing this stage and doing the exact same thing until eventually you manage to get the car to the 2nd star, at which point you will be able to move to the next stage, which is stage 2. Once you over here, it's the same thing, right? It's gonna give you a bit of tokens, a bit of guaranteed blueprints, and from there it's a grind in order to continue getting the blueprints to get it then to the 3rd star and move to the 3rd one, so on and so forth. The only difference is that once you manage to get the car to the 5th star and you open or you have access to the stage 5 over here, you're not gonna be grinding for the blueprints because you have the car at max stars. Instead of that point, you're gonna be grinding to get the epics. And this is why I said that this event allows you to straight up gold the car, because you have everything that you need in order to take the car to the maximum amount of stars, and then you can grind it further in order to get all of the epics that are required. So at the end of the day, or rather at the end of the event, if you have grinded it enough, you had enough time, if you had enough good luck, you will be able to get the car max out straight up at gold, which is a good thing. Now at the end you still have access to stage 6, but over here there's not much to do other than, well, you can get some guaranteed epics over here, 4 epics of the 12 that you need, so that's pretty dope. But there is a bit of a requirement in which you need to already have the car upgraded. So we'll talk about the requirements and all of that. I just wanted to give you a bit of an overview of how the special event works. Now there's one thing to mention, that each one of these stages increases the drop rate for the blueprints in these packs. By how much? I don't know exactly, but it definitely increases. And based on previous hunts, special hunts, we kind of have an idea of how much it increases. But yeah, in stage 1, if you're grinding the stage 1, it's rather less likely that you're gonna be getting blueprints than if you do it at the 3 or 4 star stage. So that is something to keep in mind. That is in general how special hunts work. Now, they are special hunts because they're not found under the daily event, meaning, you know that regular hunt, you're gonna find them over here in daily events, and well, let's just find one of them, here we go. Where's the EV? Oh, here we go. Here's a hunt for the EV110. So this is under daily events, and if you have the event pass, you're gonna be able to get twice as many packs per race and things like that, right? Also, another thing to consider is that in a regular hunt, you can race with a variety of cars. You are limited still by the fuel of your car and whatnot, but granted, you can use quite a bit of your cars. And each one of these races is gonna cost you 2 tickets, while a special hunt, however, it only uses the car in question, in this case the Corvette ZR1, and it doesn't have any fuel requirement, so you can do these races as many times as you want, so long as you have tickets. But in speaking of tickets, this races only cost 1 ticket as opposed to 2. So Indeed, if you're a free-to-play player that doesn't have the event pass, this is actually a relatively more productive hunt because you can do the hunt more times and still the opportunity to get this car are rather high. So alright, that is the general overview of the special hunts. I know that I've talked about this a couple of times before, but still just wanted to include it here since I was going to specifically talk about the special hunt. But what I really wanted to talk about is do a little bit of a breakdown as to why this hunt, while it is tough, I wouldn't say that it's necessarily harder than previous hunts. It's just a matter of focusing how this special hunt is different than other special hunt for cars that do have keys. So for that, I am DBT. You know how DBT is. DBT likes a spreadsheet, so DBT brought a spreadsheet. So here we go. It's a very simple one, though. It might be a little bit confusing to read, but we're gonna do it, you know, just so that it makes sense why I ordered it this way. So over here we have, obviously, the Chevy Corvette ZR1. You know what? Hold on, give me a second. Here we go. Now we have mouse trail so you can see where the mouse is. Let's go. All right, so Chevy Corvette ZR1 187. This 187 refers to the amount of blueprints that is required to take the car to the maximum stars. So over here we're gonna see the stage that we're gonna be playing and at what star is required in order to play it. Then what it needs in order to reach the amount of stars which will allow you to play the next stage. I know that this sounds like really simple. Why do you have to make it so complicated? But it's just for you to understand, or rather, hopefully help somebody understand how this is set up. In the sense that, first time, when you start playing the event, you can see FT stands over here for free try. So you don't need to own the car, you have it at a free try, and then you need to grind it quite a bit in order to get 50 blueprints. Once you finally get the 50 blueprints, you get the car at 1 star, and that allows you to play still a stage 1. Like I said earlier, the fact that you get the car unlocked, it still only means that you're still stuck in the same stage. Why? Because stage 1 over here, it still requires 1 star. It's either a free try or requires 1 star. So once you have it at 1 star, then you need to get another 23 blueprints to get it to the 2nd star, and only then you have access to stage 2. Then in stage 2, which needs 2 stars, you need another 27 blueprints, so on and so forth. I think from here you can understand, right? My point over here was to show how indeed the start of this hunt is very difficult. But that is the most difficult part of this hunt. It's the only one that you need is the hurdle. Jesus, I can't say that word. The hurdle that you need to overcome in order to complete the hunt. Now, granted, you still need to grind it afterwards, but still. The point here is that you need a total, not of 50, but 73 blueprints combined in order to finally reach stage 2. Now, like I said, each one of the stages makes the drops of the blueprints easier. How much easier? Considerably so. Again, I'll show you some numbers in a bit, but first I just want you to understand that this requiring so many blueprints in the stage that has the lowest of drop rates is gonna be very tough. You need to be playing this quite a bit in order to get through this part. But once you do, and you get to stage 2, then you still need a bit more blueprints, but you get better drop rates. And once you complete this, the next one needs even more blueprints, but the drop rates are even better. And by the time you get to stage 4, and where you need another 51 blueprints, which is a lot, apparently, the drop rates are still so very good. That is not a problem. Trust me, once you start making progress in this, once you get out of the nightmare stage, which is stage 1, once you get out of there, this starts becoming much easier. And that is why I actually saw a comment in precisely the last video that I did talking about this hunting, saying like, oh, I'm just gonna 1-star the car and then that's it. I'm like, maybe you want to 1-star the car and then continue from there, because at that point you're pretty much over the main hurdle of the hunt. It's the most difficult part of the hunt, getting it to 1 star, technically to 2. But once you get done through that, the rest becomes much easier. So I'm gonna give you now a comparison with a different type of special hunt for a car that did require a key. Now granted, it's a higher tier car and whatnot, but still, it's the same idea. We have the Pagani Zonda R. Now this one does require a lot more blueprints than the ZR1, but to be fair, in the hunt of the Zonda R, you would get 4 packs per race, while over here you only get 3. Now that sounds like a terrible thing, like, oh my god, that makes it so much harder, but not really. Because if you notice, 187, it is the 75% of 249. And well, 3 packs in this hunt as opposed to 4 packs over here, it's also 75%. So at the end of the day, the ratio is very similar. It's 75% less blueprints, but at the same time, it's 75% less packs that you can get. I hope that makes sense. But all right, so now let's analyze this car. Like I said, it requires more blueprints, but again, it's a bit of a different situation. Now, this one is a car that does require a key. This car is, you require the key in order to unlock it. Now, over here, this hunt, very different to the Corvette ZR1, the first stages are not difficult. Why? Because once again, in stage 1, you start as a free try. You don't need anything, really, because you can continue playing this. I know this is a weird way of writing it. It's just so that it would make sense as to how stage 1 over here is covered twice. Technically over here, it's only only once, because you didn't need to get the car at 1 star. If you don't know anything about key cars, a key car by default is at 1 star, but you don't own it. Once you start getting blueprints, you're going to be able to get it to the 2nd star, and that's where we get into this other view of stage 1. The car at 1 star, which is a free try, you're going to need 28 blueprints to take it to 2 stars, and only then you have access to stage 2. So in reality, you needed 28 blueprints with the lowest drop rate, as opposed to needing 73. So you can see how it's a huge difference. Over here was tough to get 73 blueprints with low drop rate. Over here you only needed 28, still with bad drop rate, but it wasn't nearly as much. And then from here you just start coasting it really easily. Why? Because you get to stage 2 and it needs a bit more blueprints, but the drop rate is better. And once you get the 32 to the 3rd star, you have access to this stage, 44 blueprints with better drop rate still. And once you do that, you get to 4 stars and you access stage 4, where you're gonna need 59 blueprints with even better drop rate still. And then once you do that, you get it to the 5th star, which gives you access to this stage where you need a gajillion blueprints, but the drop rates are so much better. Over here, the drop rates are really good. And in fact, this hunt at this stage gives you per drop of blueprints in the packs 2 blueprints instead of the regular one. Don't mind me while I take a breather there, but Jesus Christ, I do a lot of yapping, I tell you. So, okay, we got to this point, and like I said, it is a lot of blueprints, yes, but still, very good drop rates and even more blueprints per drop in the packs. So it's not difficult, trust me. It looks like a lot, but it's not that difficult. Now, after that, you get into stage... Over here, I didn't really talk about stage 5, where you need 12 epics, but you will see why I'll skip it. Over here, it's important to not skip it. Why? Because in stage 6, once you have the car to 6 stars, you need to get 16 epic import parts in order to gold the car, and only then you can access stage 7. Now, technically speaking, you don't need to get these epics, you don't need to gold the car. This is not mandatory. Stage 7 at this point has been already unlocked. But I needed to write this down because here is where the real difficulty, like I said, the beginning of this hunt is not difficult at all. You just start making progress and progress and progress and progress. It's like a snowball. You start small, but really quickly you start gaining speed, and suddenly you're at the finish line and you're like, oh great, I got all of the blueprints, I got the car to 6 stars and whatnot. Yeah, but here is the difficult part, because in stage 7, in order to unlock the car, in order to get the key, you need to gold the car. Now granted, you may have already acquired all of the blueprints and maybe the epics, though this part is considerably grinding because the drop rate is considerably low. But still, let's say that you got it all. Oh, that is fantastic, I'm done with all of that grinding. Well, yeah, but guess what? It's mandatory that you have 32.2 million credits in order to gold the car, in order to access the key. That is where these hunts are difficult, because you need a ton of credits in order to do it. Doesn't matter if you grinded the entire thing, if you don't have the credits, you're gonna miss out on the key. And that is where the main difference of these two hunts lie. In the Chevy Corvette ZR1, over here, you already unlocked the car. You did the 50 blueprints, you got it to 1 star, the car is yours. You can make as little or as much progress from here onwards as you want, but the car is already yours. In the Pagani Zonda R, and really any other hunt, special hunt that requires a key, the only moment you unlock the car is at the very end, under the understanding that you need to have grinded all of this, get all of the epics that, like I said, are difficult to get because the drop rate is much lower, and only then you need the 32.2 million credits to get the key. You see where the difference is, and this is why I wanted to make this video, because I see a lot of people that don't really focus it, and people who are like, no, but the Zonda R, whatever other hunt, for example, the Ultima. Now, the Ultima also had a special hunt. I didn't want to bring it here because the Ultima, it's a Class S car. Instead, I wanted to compare two special hunts of the same class. Both of these cars are Class A, but still you get the idea, right? But people saying like, no, but this other hunt was much easier. But was it though? And this is why I wanted to show it in this way, because it really, it's I honestly think both special hunts are about equal as difficult, just in different ways. Now, real quick, I'm gonna show you the alleged drop rates. This information we got when there was a special hunt for the Zonda R. Somebody was able to, I don't remember which region, Asphalt Legends Unite would show the actual drop rate for the packs, and that's where they found this information. I'd still add a question mark because this was back then. I don't know if they changed or what, but this will give you an idea. In stage 1, the drop rate is of 6%, which is a little bit lower than regular car hunts. At stage 2 is 8%, at stage 3 is 10, so on and so forth, 12, 15, 15% drop rate. It's absolutely crazy. It may not sound like a lot, but in terms of what it means when you're doing the races, how many races you do, this is insane. This is why I said that this becomes easier and easier. Now, granted, this is a 6-star car. So what I did is extrapolate these same numbers and I placed them here. And over here, stage 1, 6%, 8%, 10, and 12. I believe that maybe we won't get as crazy as the 15% drop over here, but still, 12% is still pretty good. But this is why I was saying that this is something that may not be super obvious. To understand that the more progress you make in the hunt, the easier it starts becoming getting the blueprints, even if it requires more blueprints, but you start seeing the progress done. Now, the epics, 2% at least over here in the Zonda R, like I said, it's pretty tough to get the epics, but to be fair, you only need 16, which is a bunch, but you know. 2%, if you needed 86, it's an absolute nightmare. But 2% when you only need 16, it's a little bit more manageable. So this is why I wanted to show you this, so that you have a little bit of a different, possibly or hopefully, have a slightly different scenic or panoramic view of how these things are set up, and why, even though it is very tough at the start, after that, it starts getting easier and easier and easier. Because like I said, over here, if you get to this stage and then you're tired, you can just quit it and never return to it again, or at least not for this rotation of it, and be like, well, I did get my car to 3 stars, it's fine, I can live with that. Or if you really want, you can go all the way through and get all the blueprints and gold it, but you don't have to. Whereas in the Pagani Zonda R, if you got to stage 3 and you're like, well, I got the car to 3 stars, that's where I'm gonna quit. Guess what? You didn't get the car. You're still over there. You never got the car. So is that really good? You see what I'm saying? It's a different setup. Both are difficult. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that one is easier than the other. All I'm saying is that they're both difficult, just in different ways. They both have their good and their bad. And that is why I wanted to talk about this, because I haven't really seen people trying to explain this or really focusing on how they're not necessarily one is harder than the other. They're just very different. Oh, and just as a little bit of a side, I wanted to show you one special hunt that was actually an absolute nightmare. Now, I didn't do the entire chart like this, but yeah, the ATS GT, the ATS Automobile GT, that is a car that requires 300 blueprints and is not a key car. 300 blueprints. So that means when it's not a key car, you need to actually get, to start making progress, you need, in this case, 73, right? Over here was, how much is that? 110, because it's 85 plus 25. Now that was a nightmare special hunt, I'll tell you that. But anyway, like I said, just wanted to talk about this whole thing because I thought it was an interesting topic to delve a little bit deeper into and show the difference of this type of hunts. Because hey, why not? Now, like I said earlier in this video, right now you're seeing my global account. This is the one that I have on my phone, or sometimes I play on my computer as well, as opposed to my Switch account where I did the video last time, where I do have this car at 5 stars. So over here, I'm gonna be grinding this special hunt because I am interested on getting this car. I mean, I do already have it at 2 stars, but I would like to see how far I can take it. In fact, at the end of this race, I'm gonna show you how many, it's 10 days and some left. By the time I'm recording this, 10 days and some hours. So basically, I want to show you how much progress I could make over here. Because again, I understand that for people that have been playing this hunt in the first stage, they get demoralized by the fact that, man, the drop rates are so low, I'm never gonna unlock the car and this and that. Yeah, that's fair. It's, like I said, very difficult, and Jesus Christ, this map is so loud. But my point in here showing you how many days I have left is precisely to try to give you a bit of an update in a few days of, oh, look at that. Nice, I got one blueprint. To give you an update as to how much progress I've been able to make now that I'm in stage 2. You can see it's 10 days and 12 hours by the time I'm recording this, and I have my car at 2 stars. I'm not going to be using any wildcards. It's going to be just natural progress. And well, again, the idea is to show you how once you get out of stage 1, stage 2 starts getting a little bit easier, and maybe once I make another video talking about this and show you my progress, I might be at a different stage. Again, to kind of show you how progress can be done. It's just a matter of getting out of stage 1, which is the most nightmarish one, but once you're out of there, you're good. You're gonna have a good time. Once again, if you enjoyed this video or if you found it somehow useful, please hit the like button on this video, subscribe to the channel. Again, we already got to the 20,000 subscribers. Really happy about that. Thanks to everybody that has been subscribing. Appreciate you, but hey, we can continue growing, so why not? And if you would like to support me directly, please consider joining the membership for access to exclusive videos with the face cam and no bleeping and stuff like that. So hey, check it out over there by the join button. But that's all. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.